Hey everyone, on to chapter 43. So in this chapter we join Gurney Halleck, and he is hanging out with a bunch of smugglers getting spice kind of further south than this normally occurs. It's actually the same group of smugglers that Paul noticed when he was writing The Worm in the last chapter. And this chapter was a whole lot better than the last one. I thought there was a lot of good tying things together here. And essentially what happens, as you can imagine, is Gurney runs into Paul, and Paul reveals himself to Gurney and that he's still alive, and they have a nice buddy moment. Gurney is super happy that Paul's alive, and he's ready to follow him as Duke now. Unfortunately, find out that Gurney's smuggling band has some Sardaukar folks in it. So Gurney warns Paul of this, using some secret signaling, of course. And eventually, after a little battle that had happened before Paul revealed himself, and a handful, or maybe a lot of Gurney's smugglers died, minus the Sardaukar, of course. They're not going to die. They're too powerful. Gurney and Paul end up meeting up with Stilgar, and Stilgar is sort of raising an eyebrow at this whole situation because he's still a little bit worried about the fact that Paul is pretty much going to have to kill him to take over. But he also realizes Paul is now basically moving into a position of becoming actually Duke of Arrakis, because we also hear from Gurney that apparently the guy running Arrakis right now, and you have to forgive me, I forget his name because he really hasn't been brought up much, but there's sort of a Harkonnen lackey that's been running Arrakis, doing a terrible job, and basically the whole planet's rife for takeover. So Paul and team go back to an area to talk to Gurney some more. And while they're chatting, of course, the Sardaukar start killing a handful of Fremen. And Paul's a little dismayed by this, and he goes and confronts the Sardaukar, reveals himself to them. And they're like, oh, wow, okay, this is interesting. We didn't kill all the Atreides. And Paul decides to basically let them go with this knowledge, and because he wants them to go reveal that he is alive to the Emperor. He's basically, I think, itching to get this confrontation with the Emperor started. Then we have a kind of a nice little revelation moment where Paul realizes he's not going to have to kill Stilgar because he's already kind of a leader. He's going to be Duke. He's going to be Duke of Arrakis, and both the outsiders there as well as sort of in charge of the Fremen. So he tells Stilgar, why don't you, he doesn't say it like this exactly, he was like, hey, I don't think we have to do this whole stupid battle where I kill you. You're going to pretty much still stay in charge of the Fremen. I'll oversee everything, a sort of upper level management, your middle level management, and we'll take it from there. And that seems to be vibing pretty good with Stilgar. One big dilemma, though, that happens at the end of this chapter is Paul reveals to Gurney that his mom, Jessica, is still alive. And Gurney doesn't like this at all because he still thinks Jessica's an evil traitor. And he doesn't think Paul understands this. So he is waiting for the moment to reveal this to Paul because he wants to take Jessica down. Anyway, things end with Paul basically, I think he's sending Chani down to talk to Jessica and the young men, Fremen, who want to make Paul leader and just get everything sorted out. So as we're moving into the next chapter, the table's set pretty well for moving things into the next stage of this book, really the third act, where I think the big confrontation is going to happen here. So looking forward to that, and talk soon. Bye.